What's up guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today we are going to be re-listening and reacting for the first time ever to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Now obviously a lot of people know this album. It's considered a classic album widely. Yeah, many people consider it to be one of the best albums of all time, and I've never actually heard it. So today we are going to be listening to this album and just seeing what I think of it. I like rock music sort of. Obviously I'm way more into like hip hop, soul, funk, and I don't imagine that it's like that at all. So yeah, I will be interested today to see what I think of this album and yeah, just generally give my opinion on a classic album. Before I start this video, I just want to ask you guys, if you are new around here, then subscribe, because I do loads of like music based videos, reactions to albums. I'm doing ranking videos coming up. Be sure to check out the content and subscribe down below. Also, you can check in the top left over here, there's a playlist of all my other reaction videos. Last year I did a load of reactions to brand new albums that came out. So yeah, if you want to check out those videos, it's in the top corner there. And now let's get on with the reaction. So I'm starting off from a base where I don't really know hardly anything about this album. Obviously the cover is iconic. This could be totally different to what I expect. I don't know any of the track lists. I don't think. I might recognize some of them. This will make it interesting. So the first song is called Speak to Me. Just a side note, this is the remastered edition. I'm not sure if that'll make any difference. Yeah, let's listen to Speak to Me, and obviously I want to listen to this all track after track, and yeah, let's see what I think. So just a quick pause right there. Obviously I didn't realise these tracks all flow into each other, so I'll try and find like the best pauses where possible. But obviously this track is just like an introduction. You can tell like they're building up, trying to create like an atmosphere within the album. You got that very manic, like sort of, it sounded like winding of some kind, and like maybe some like, sounded like a generally like working. And then there was some talking in there. Didn't quite gather what it said. But yeah, imagine this ties to this track, which is called Breathe brackets in the air. So yeah, let's get on to it. So yeah, that track, Breathe in the Air, I actually really enjoyed that track. Actually, it's quite interesting to hear this. Like, that has inspired quite a lot of the music that I listen to today. I have a great playlist called Lazy Sunday, which if you're on Spotify, you should go and follow that playlist. And quite a lot of the songs on there sort of sound like that kind of vibe. So yeah, I was really impressed. It was very soulful, great like bass in there, really nice beat, just very like chilled out summer's day vibes. Yeah, I really liked that track, and yeah, it kind of reminded me, if I was to put it to a new artist, Duran Jones and the Indications, if you've ever heard of them. Good album if you should listen to it. American Love Call, I think I've spoken about it before, but yeah, it sort of sounded like that kind of vibe of music, very slow, very easy to listen to. There's now transitioning into the next song, which is called On the Run. So yeah, let's check it out. So yeah, that was the track, On the Run, and yeah, genuinely this song title pretty much summed it up. It just sounded manic. There was this whole way through, there was like these hi-hats going on, like constantly tapping, sounding like almost like someone running. There was like a synthwave bass going all the way through, and it's occasionally the bass got wider and narrowed down and got quicker. So yeah, that was a really interesting track. I'm not really sure what the theme of that track was. I mean, maybe that will make more sense in the context of the album. Yeah, at the end it sort of rose up to the point where there was like this big explosion, and I'm assuming that it was guitars that made that sound at the end. But yeah, that sort of transitioned into the next track, Time. Let's have a listen to. So that was the track Time. That was a really good track, I thought. Very long, but I like the way that it sort of progressed. Yeah, the start, obviously you had those like sort of manic clock ticking and then all the sounds of the alarms and stuff. Then the instrumental started and there was a long introduction to the track, which really like, yeah, sort of eased you into it. And then obviously the singing comes through and the lyrics are about like not wasting time. Like you find that like 1 minute you like do something and then the next minute you wake up and like it's 10 years have passed and you've wasted all this time. So yeah, I really thought those lyrics were powerful. Yeah, and then you had a nice little guitar solo in the middle there before the singing went back, and that was really cool. So yeah, a really cool song. And generally the vibe of this album is not what I expected. I thought this was going to be quite rock centric. Although there is like a lot of rock elements to it, there is a soul element to it, there's a funk element to it, which it was very of its time, I imagine. Still, I really enjoyed that song. Yeah, this is from 1973, so you can imagine it sort of fits the era it's from. But yeah, anyway, let's continue with The Great Gig in the Sky. So that was the track, The Great Gig in the Sky. Another one that I really enjoyed. It was sort of built on this, there was like a talking at the start, saying about how someone just doesn't want to waste their life and like doesn't fear death, which is obviously a theme tied to the last song. And then you get into this very powerful vocal riffing from a lady. Don't know who the lady is, whether it's someone really famous or not, but yeah, their incredible voice, like they literally putting all into this, which is amazing to hear. And the instrumental was cool as well, as the way it built up and then it very slowly came down. And overall a really nice track. Not necessarily a song that has a lot of single value, I guess. Like, I'm not sure if this was a single on the album. I doubt it was. Seems like an album track, but it does sort of fit into the flow of this album. Already it seems like the album is going up and down. So yeah, we'll see where the next few songs go. But for now, the next track is called Money. So yeah, let's give it a listen. Okay, so that was the track Money. I very much enjoyed that track again. I liked the theme of it, like being so clear. Obviously, track's called Money. The whole theme of the song is about money and, you know, like what people do for money and stuff. I liked the instrumental sort of sounded like, it was a bit like the hustle and bustle of a city, I thought. Like the way that, like at certain points it was like you turned a street and it was a really busy city, loads of cars, loads of people going to their jobs and stuff like that. Then the next minute you like turn around and you're in like a quieter street and you're like away from it, and then again you're back to the hustle and bustle. Like that's just the way I interpreted the song. Yeah, decent track. Nothing that was blowing me away, but yeah, another decent song. And the way it transitioned into the next track, which is called Us and Them, was good as well. So let's listen to that track. Yeah, so that was the track Us and Them. I really like that. There was some luscious sort of saxophone instrumental riffs going on there. Absolutely gorgeous. In terms of the lyrics, I am finding it quite hard to like interpret them and find out what they mean. From that song, I want to say that was about war, but to be honest, I don't really know what that was about. Saying war, I'm just basically making that up from what I've heard. Regardless, the instrumental was really nice. It was very like low-key and just like a nice slow vibe, and then it picks up. So yeah, the again, like the ups and downs of this album are really enjoyable. But yeah, that was an interesting track. And now to move on to Any Colour You Like. So yeah, that was the track, Any Colour You Like. Not a lot to say here, just a classic instrumental track. Very nice, yeah, nice instrumental. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I guess at the time maybe that would have seemed like something that people had never heard before. But for me now, like, I hear weird shit like that all the time. I mean, I listen to Tyler, the Creator. You hear weird shit like that in all of his albums. So yeah, decent track. Before I get into the last two tracks, can I ask you, please like the video if you have enjoyed it, and don't forget to check that playlist up in the top left hand corner over there for other reactions, album reactions, and also comment below what album you would like to see me do this for next. You know, what classic album would you like me to do this for? I can't promise, I haven't listened to it before, but if it's something that, you know, you think it would be entertaining, like a good album to listen to, then yeah, just leave a comment down below what album you think. But for now, let's get on to the last two tracks, which are Brain Damage and Eclipse. So let's go. So there we have it, guys. I've reached the end of the album. The last two tracks, they sort of went in together, and I forgot to pause it in the middle, but that sort of worked because it flowed so nicely. The first track, Brain Damage, was just about that voice inside your head always being around, like no matter what you do, no matter where you go, that voice in your head's like always there, like in the background. And it was basically saying, like, you know, the second track especially was just saying that it's the sun, even the sun gets eclipsed by the moon, so even the brightest days can be eclipsed by darkness for some people. So yeah, I thought that was a really good ending to the track list, and definitely a song, two songs that had like quite a lot of meaning behind them, especially today. You can see like they were way ahead of their time, and yeah, even though this song definitely fits into the early 70s in terms of the era that it was produced, at the same time it was, you know, the thoughts and like theme of the album definitely was ahead of its time. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not totally sure what this whole album means, so I have had a quick Google, and it basically says essentially the first half of the track list is like describing a life that goes unfulfilled, so like time, for instance, which I said, like it's about like wasting time and like not living life to the full. And then the second half is just different parts of society that can lead to madness, so for instance money and brain damage being key examples of this. Obviously at the end there you hear a voice saying there's no dark side of the moon really, it's all dark. So that's a very interesting concept, definitely one I got from the last few tracks on the album especially. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this album. Would I listen again? I think I would. I definitely would. I think if I had a long journey I was going on in terms of like a drive or something, and I put this album on, I think I'd really enjoy it from start to finish. And it's just a very interesting album and a cool concept, and definitely like they were an experimental band, Pink Floyd, but this is a very experimental album, and one that, you know, I'm glad that a lot of people appreciate it because it's obviously really good. So yeah, I have enjoyed it, and yeah, good album. Check it out. So we have reached the end of this video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like down below just to show that you like this kind of video, and maybe I'll make more in the future. Yeah, obviously there's quite a few classic albums out there, so comment one down below and maybe I will react to that in a future episode of this, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my top 5 most valuable vinyls according to Discogs.